Hey guys, so I just wanted to pop in real quick and make sure that I explain the quarterly reflect and resolve section. So every 3 months you'll see this quarterly review in here, and this really takes you through your successes and achievements from the past 90 days, the challenges and obstacles you faced, and important in this line here is how did you react to them? Do you think in retrospect, after you've had time to cool off and everything, how did you react to those challenges and obstacles? Could you have reacted better, or do you think you are actually surprised by how well you reacted to things? What is the biggest lesson you can take with you as you move forward into the next quarter, through the year? Are there any goals or priorities that you originally set in the beginning of the year that have evolved? So sometimes we'll say like, oh, I want to, my goal is to publish 10 manuscripts this year. Well, did you get like in 90 days or 180 days in, and that goal really changed to maybe 5 manuscripts really well with top-notch marketing? So again, your goals can evolve through the year, and this quarterly review helps you kind of track that and reevaluate what's important to you this year in advancing your authorship. Now, and again, it actually goes into that, what are you going to do differently over the next 90 days to advance your authorship? Is there something you need to change? Is there some process that needs to evolve with you to make sure that you're actually reaching your goals? If you blogged, did you blog as much as you intended? And here's a space for your top 3 goals and priorities for the next 90 days. So what can you accomplish in 90 days? What would you like to accomplish in 90 days? You don't have to stay on track for your goals. You can get ahead. And if you're behind on your goals, then what can you do in the next 90 days to catch up? Or if they've evolved that much, then what do you need to do over the next 90 days that has changed? And then your 90-day total spent on paid advertising, your best ROI and platform. And then of course your worst ROI and platform, just so you know you're keeping track of where your ads are performing very well and where they're not. And it may not just be the platform, it could be your use of the platform. If it works for other people, then if it's not working for you, it's not always the platform. Sometimes it's just your knowledge of the platform, and sometimes it's just not right for your audience. Either way, just keep track of what works best for you and what works worst, so you don't keep spending money on something that's not working. So what were your advertising results from those 90 days? And what was your biggest lesson in those 90 days? You should always come away from 90 days of advertising with a lesson. So now in this section of the quarterly review, we have your stories. So this is where you get to dig in and say, so how are my manuscripts coming along? What was my average weekly word count for the past 90 days? Or what was my daily? What was my daily word count, and did I meet that word count goal? Or did I hit an average that makes me proud? Or did something come up and I wasn't able to write as much as I could? So what helped you stay on track? If you weren't able to stay on track, then what do you feel like is holding you back? It's really important to identify those things that you feel are holding you back so that you can mitigate those challenges going forward. If you've been inspired with many new story ideas, write that down. Have you been inspired with many new story ideas? Is this something unusual for you? Is this something that you found like a creative peak, or you're doing something new, you've changed something and you're getting a lot of inspiration? And then when and where are you feeling the most inspired? And I've given you a lot of space here because this, once you start writing it in and exploring this area of yourself, you might find something really, really important about what you can do to change your environment or change your habits that is resulting in more inspiration. And then it starts looking forward. What will be your daily or weekly word count goal for the next 90 days? And I do that because some people don't write every day as much as I'm a proponent of that. Not everybody works well that way. So if you have like a weekly word count goal, because there's certain days you dedicate to editing and other days that you dedicate solely to writing, then you have the choice here. So what's your daily or weekly word count goal for the next 90 days? And what can you do to make sure you consistently reach that goal? Have you learned things about your schedule that you need to change from the past 90 days? Have you learned that you can't write late at night on days that maybe, like me, I'm pursuing my master's degree. So on days that I know homework is due, should I write early in the morning and get that out of the way? Or should I hope that I'll get all my homework turned in on time so that I don't need to push off my writing? So the idea is find out what you can do to make sure you're consistently reaching your writing goals. And again, now we're still digging in more here. Have you learned anything about your best time of day to write? And this does repeat every quarter because things can change. Your life changes, things evolve and change shape. So I want you to have that flexibility to say, yeah, things are changing, and own that, accept that, and then make sure that you're moving forward with that in mind. So over the next 90 days, is there anything else you can do differently in order to make sure you're reaching all of your writing and editing targets? And of course, I've said targets here because we set those targets in the My Vision section, where you should have writing and editing targets, at least your writing goals. And of course, if you're planning on publish, then you have editing targets as well. So you should be hitting those. And what can we do to make sure you are hitting those? So absolutely take full advantage of this page. Make sure you're really spending the time on self-discovery every quarter. It's really, really healthy, and the top businesses do these quarterly reviews. So I wanted you guys to have a systematic way of performing quarterly reviews as well. So here in the My Visibility section, the first thing I ask is, have you been driven and committed to increasing your visibility? Because if you're like, yeah, I want to do this, but then you're not actually taking action, you say it, but then you don't do anything, you need to be accountable to yourself. You need to say to yourself that it's not the fact that visibility doesn't work, because we know it does. It's maybe the fact that you haven't been giving it your all. Okay, so just be accountable to yourself. No one else is going to see your answers. Nobody's looking at your page. You can really get clear and honest with yourself here. And have you been consistent? Because this is crucial when it comes to visibility. You must be consistent in order to reach your ideal audience or your target audience. So what have you found that works best for you in terms of growing your audience and reach? And for some people, this is giveaways. For some people, this was just a matter of getting consistent and getting relaxed on social media as far as being willing to share their work and not speaking in a business formal tone, but really in an informal tone that allows them to connect with their readers. And then overall it says, what can you do the next 90 days to improve your audience growth and reach? What do you need to do to make sure you're on track to reach those overarching visibility and audience growth goals? And then we kind of go from the visibility to the sales and download goals over the past 90 days. And I wanted to include this on this page because your visibility has a direct impact on your sales and downloads goals. People have to know that you exist and your work exists in order to make a decision about whether or not to buy it. So they need to see it. So did you meet your sales and download goals over the past 90 days? And did you win any awards or special recognition? And even though this is really the only place in the book that I talk about awards and special recognition, it's really important to count these things because you can use them not only just to feel good and to feel validated about the work that you've been doing, but also when you're doing your visibility work. So you can say, hey guys, get a free excerpt of my award-winning novel here. And you can tout that not as bragging rights so much as proof to people that you wrote something worth reading. So it just helps people know and trust that they can expect greatness from your work. And then what can you do to ensure you reach your growth goals for the coming quarter? And again, adjust those goals to meet your needs for your overall 2018 goals or your 12-month goals. So if you only gained 100 followers in the first quarter, but you needed to gain 400, then actually don't cut down your overall target. Figure out what you can do to improve your numbers in the next quarter. So keep your overall target, but see how you can make up the difference in the next quarter or over the remaining 3 quarters. So either way, get here. Use this page to benchmark and measure your growth and determine your next 90 days total target, because again, that will help you determine what your numbers are in the monthly section for your growth goals and visibility goals. And again, that breaks down weekly as well as monthly. And then this page is a fun page that was recommended while I was surveying everyone. They wanted a page where they could kind of get creative and artistic about tracking their progress. So that's what this is. And you can use stickers, you can use colored pencils or crayons or paint, or that might be messy, but you can use whatever you want on this page to mark your progress. And I would love if you were able to mark this progress throughout the year, get a bookmark, and or throughout the quarter, and just mark how far you're coming. And it feels pretty satisfying to fill in those blocks and, you know, pull in that left side brain activity. So, and then over here we have refining your 90-day goals. So look at your top 3 goals that you need to implement, or you need to have to reach those year goals. So what are these things that you need to do? If it's to publish book 3 of a new series, and you say, I got to do it by, you know, June 20th, then you say, okay, so here I got to finish my first draft, and here I have to complete my self-edit and revisions, and here I have to select and hire an editor, and here I have to, right after I do that, I have to select a cover illustrator, and then here we have to finish final revisions and edits, and here I have to hit publish. So basically you're just making sure that you know exactly what needs to happen to accomplish that goal. You know, this goal is not just like, oh, I want to make $1 million. No, this goal is, okay, if you want to make $1 million, then what exactly needs to happen for that to occur? So, but we're talking about setting these goals as priority tasks, is what I like to call them. You set these priority tasks and you say, what steps will result in the achievement of that task, in the completion of that task. So I really hope you guys love this. It will help you get so clear if you really dig into everything that needs to happen, and when, I love these target completion dates, when they need to happen in order for you to be on track to reach that target completion date. And that is it for this section, guys. Thanks for watching.